This video was created during the 2023 WGA and SAG strikes. Without the labor of the writers and actors currently on strike, Star Wars Rebels and Ahsoka wouldn't exist. Learn more about the strike at the link in the description. Grand Admiral Thrawn is one of the highly anticipated villains that will appear in the Ahsoka series. The character has a history that spans over 3 decades, so today we're going to talk about everything you need to know about him before watching Ahsoka. Thrawn was a brilliant military commander from a part of the unknown regions of the galaxy called the Chiss Ascendancy. He was cold and calculating, an appreciator of the arts, and was not popular among his society's leadership, but he was always successful in outwitting and defeating any potential threats to the Chiss. Around the same time as the Clone Wars, he encountered a rival group called the Grysk, who sought to conquer the Ascendancy. During his investigations into the Grysk, he traveled to the borders of the unknown regions in the planet Batuu, where he met and worked with a Jedi Knight named Anakin Skywalker. He learned of the Clone Wars and worried the conflict might spread into his territory. Upon his return to Chiss space, he was able to repel a significant Grysk attack, but decided his people could use allies for the inevitable counterattack. He went into exile on a world near what was once Republic space and was eventually discovered by a new faction, the Galactic Empire. He used his connection with Anakin Skywalker to gain an audience with Emperor Palpatine, who was so impressed with the man that he admitted him into the Imperial Navy. He quickly rose through the ranks with his aide, an officer named Eli Vanto. Thrawn hoped the Empire would be a powerful ally in his fight against the Grysk, but his anxieties grew about his home, so he secretly sent Eli to join the Chiss and bring the Ascendancy word of Thrawn's progress. After he was promoted to the rank of Grand Admiral, he and his fleet were tasked with the destruction of the Lothal rebel cell, Phoenix Squadron. He hunted them using his knowledge of the group's various cultures and Sabine Wren's signature art until he discovered their hidden base on the planet Atollon. He nearly wiped out Phoenix Squadron and the larger Massassi group led by General Dodonna, but poor decisions made by another admiral in the fleet led to their escape. He also encountered a mystical being in the Force called the Bendu, who foresaw Thrawn's defeat like many arms around him in a cold embrace. After his failure to destroy the rebellion, he was sent with Darth Vader on a mission back to Batuu, where they learned that the Grysk continued to grow more powerful in Thrawn's absence. But he had to return to his fight against Phoenix Squadron, which took him to Lothal, where he produced a new line of Imperial starfighters called the TIE Defender. But the Emperor soon called him away to fight for funding for his project over the Death Star as it neared completion. While he was gone, Phoenix Squadron destroyed the fuel depot that powered his factory, shutting down production of the TIE Defender. When he returned, he bombarded Lothal's capital city until one of the rebel leaders, Ezra Bridger, surrendered to him. But the young man was also a Jedi in training, and he used his connection with nature to summon several massive Purrgil to attack Thrawn's fleet. They attached themselves to Thrawn's flagship, the Chimera, and used their natural ability to access hyperspace to bring Thrawn and Ezra to some unknown part of the galaxy. And that's the last we've seen of Thrawn. He's been missing for about 10 years by the time of Ahsoka, although Captain Pellaeon insisted in The Mandalorian Season 3 that his return was imminent. Perhaps he's simply in contact with members of his former fleet, or maybe he's returned in full force already. We simply don't know yet. That's Grand Admiral Thrawn's current canon story, but the character was originally created back in 1991 for the Star Wars novel Heir to the Empire by Timothy Zahn. In that book, he also returned to the known galaxy about 5 years after the Battle of Endor after being away on a secret mission. With the rest of Imperial leadership crumbling, he took control of what remained to nearly defeat the New Republic. The setup for the Ahsoka series is very similar. If you want an idea of how his story might play out, I'd highly recommend reading the books. I expect they will serve as some inspiration for Thrawn's reemergence. As for his character, he is very much a Sherlock Holmes type, able to analyze people, situations, culture, and especially their art to determine exploitable weaknesses. He is different from Palpatine and Vader in the sense that he isn't some sort of dark wizard that rules through fear. He's simply very competent and is able to command his people through respect. I will say both his Legends and canon books paint him as a somewhat sympathetic character, or maybe it's better to say his motivations are understandable. His stories in publishing show that he is simply concerned with the well-being of his people. His on-screen appearances illustrate him as a more straightforward villain, but I don't see the two versions as different or contradictory. We can just see how Thrawn is willing to go too far in his quest after making a deal with the devil of Star Wars, Palpatine. I just want to point that out because some people people will claim he's not a villain, but he absolutely is. He's nuanced, he's not as obviously evil as Sidious or Vader or Maul, but he does undeniably bad things in the books and the shows. Having good intentions does not excuse his evil actions. But that's all I think you need to know about Grand Admiral Thrawn before seeing Ahsoka. You can check out this playlist for even more explainer videos about Star Wars Rebels. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel for all our Ahsoka coverage, follow us on our socials, and consider checking out our Patreon page for our video reactions and audio commentaries we'll release for every episode. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.